Hey guys, it's Nathan from the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. Welcome to the next Zoom interview in the Kentucky Cycling Connection series. I'm excited to welcome two returning guests today who are Sharon Brown and Natalie Jones, both of whom serve on the board of directors for Bike Walk Kentucky and are returning as this year's co-directors of the 2022 Kentucky Cycling Challenge. Sharon and Natalie, welcome.
Thanks for having us. Since
you have both appeared on the series previously, I'll forego some of the normal getting to know you questions. Viewers who may not already be familiar with Sharon and Natalie may be interested to watch the first part of last year's Kentucky Cycling interview, and I'll include a link to that. And also, for those of you who may not be familiar with the work of Bike Walk Kentucky, I'll also include a link to an interview that I did with both Sharon and Bike Walk Kentucky President Mike Sewell, which focuses on the work of Bike Walk Kentucky as the state's statewide bike ped advocacy program. So the bulk of this interview is actually going to focus on some of the details surrounding the 2022 Kentucky Cycling Challenge. So for any viewers who may not be familiar, would one of you all be willing just to take a minute and answer this question, if only at a high level? What is the Kentucky Cycling Challenge?
The Kentucky Cycling Challenge is a series of 5 rides. All 5 of those rides have different distances, and they take all the riders to different parts of Kentucky. So our goal is to promote physical activity, get people out on bikes, people having a great time on bikes. And then the second part of it is actually the tourism element. Like, let's get out and enjoy how beautiful the state of Kentucky is.
Well, of course, we'll get a lot deeper into that, but that's a nice sort of draw you in, a little teaser for more information about the challenge here. And Sharon and Natalie, since you all have just finished your first year as co-directors of the challenge, since it was taken over by Bike Walk Kentucky, I wanted to invite the two of you to share any thoughts or you care to share in reflecting on the work of last year's challenge.
I think overall, Sharon and I both feel that it was an amazing opportunity to co-direct the Kentucky Cycling Challenge, and that the ride directors for all 5 of the rides made it very easy to transition into it. They are the true rock stars and the true foundation of the challenge, and they made the transition from the Bluegrass Cycling Club, basically covering it, to Bike Walk Kentucky. A very seamless transition, as well as very welcoming Sharon and I into that part of the planning and into the challenge. And so I think that was the best part, is really developing those relationships with the rides and with the ride directors. And it's just been outstanding.
Great. So in turning our attention to the details of this year's Kentucky Cycling Challenge, I guess the first question that's going to be on the minds of riders who have done this before is, when does registration open?
Registration is going to open on February 1st. We are in the process of constructing a new website that will be linked to Bike Walk Kentucky. People will be invited to register then. We take up to 500 cyclists can register at that time, and we'll take up to 500, or we will collect the deadline at the end of the day of the Redbud ride, which is April 9th. So
okay.
Whatever comes first, 500 or April 9th.
Okay. So throw down the gauntlet there. Get registered by Redbud or before it hits 500, or you're out.
And just to note too, for people who don't know about it, is that registration is free for the Kentucky Cycling Challenge. So while you have to pay the registration for the individual rides, our registration is free. And again, it's just that challenge to promote more cycling and tourism throughout the state.
Thank you, Natalie. So I want to just clarify a little bit on the comment you made, Sharon, about the old website going away. The last couple of years, I know you guys have had a URL called kycyclingchallenge.com, and my understanding in preparing for this is that basically you're going to house the information about the challenge on the Bike Walk Kentucky website, which is bikewalk.ky. So at least as of February 1st, maybe sooner, people could be able to go to that the Bike Walk Kentucky website, and you'll see like a little banner or something directing folks to the Kentucky Cycling Challenge information, so it'll be nice and obvious. Fair?
Fair. And it will be nice and obvious. And we think it's important to connect it to Bike Walk Kentucky, since that organization is sponsoring the Kentucky Cycling Challenge.
Very good. So folks need to go ahead and mark their calendars for February 1st. That's a Tuesday, by the way. And then go out to that Bike Walk Kentucky site and look for information on how to sign up. Natalie, I think, kind of referenced this. So at the heart of this challenge is the ability for riders. They register for free, they meet certain criteria, and then they get this coveted jersey, and they're willing to drive around to all different parts of the state for this jersey. So talk to me about each of the challenge levels and how someone goes about earning a jersey.
Yeah, so that's what is super exciting about the challenge, is that, again, it's free and it's super easy to sign up. And all you have to do, again, is mark your calendars for those 5 rides that will be taking place. And the big incentive, right, is the jerseys, of how to win that free jersey. And so we've changed it up this year a little bit from last year of how things were operating. And so this year, in order to earn a jersey and a kit, you have to complete 5 rides and complete either the metric century distance or the century distance. So if you complete and participate in 5 out of 5 in the metric or the century, you can get a free jersey as well as a free pair of shorts or bibs, depending on your preference. The second tier is to earn the free jersey. You have to do 4 out of the 5 rides and complete the metric or the century for those. And then a new thing that we also changed this year for being able to purchase a jersey is that you only have to complete 3 out of the 5 rides, and no distance is covered for that. And so beforehand, previously, there's always been a certain amount of mileage that you had to complete in order to purchase. And this year we want to exclude the mileage so that anyone who's new to these group rides or new to cycling, there's no distance that you have to complete. Just participating is enough, and you can purchase the jersey.
All right, so that was lots of great information, Natalie. So let's put it past the idiot test and see if I can say this back to you.
All right, we're ready.
All right, so I want to participate in the challenge. I go out to the bikewalk.ky website on February 1st. I got my alarm set. I sign up for it. I go to the different ride websites and I register for the rides that I want to participate in. If I go to all 5 rides and I complete either the metric or century ride, I get not only a free jersey, but what comes with it?
Free bibs or shorts. So you get that free kit.
Or shorts. So basically a full kit. All right.
And I should say too, point of clarification, because we haven't added this in order to participate, you have to go to the Bike Walk Kentucky Cycling Challenge table at each ride to check in your mileage. So you, as the rider, are responsible for checking that in. So not only do you have to register on February 1st for the challenge, and then register separately for the individual rides, at each of those individual rides, you have to go to the table, to the Kentucky Cycling Challenge table, and check in and let us know the distance that you completed. So
very good, very good. Okay,
awesome.
Excellent. So that's if I do all 5 rides. If I only do 4 rides, again, either metric, century, or some combination of those rides, at 4 of those rides, I can still get a sweet new jersey. But
correct.
Sorry about your luck. No bibs or
no
shorts.
Bottoms.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll have the opportunity to purchase matching shorts.
Okay. That's nice. And then if I show up to 3, is that what you said?
Yes.
Correct. Just
3 rides. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what distance I ride, so long as I show up and ride.
At the table.
I can ride the shortest one at each of those 3 rides,
Have
and
a great
you're
time.
letting me buy one of those sweet jerseys.
Yes.
Correct.
All right. Well, we've hyped up that jersey plenty. So the next big question becomes, when will we see the jersey that we're coveting?
Pop quiz trick question. That's something that we're working on that. And so we're basically figuring out the design right now and what it will look like. So we met with the ride directors yesterday to talk through the new guidelines and new qualifications to earn a kit or to earn a jersey. And so they had some great ideas for design. And so we can throw a little bit out there in terms of, for that 5 out of 5, the jersey will be different. So for going to all 5 and completing the metric or the century distance, your jersey will be stand apart from the other jerseys for the 4 out of 5 or the 3 out of 5 option.
Okay. Fair. Very good. I know that you guys have a Facebook page, which is at Kentucky Cycling Challenge, all spelled out. I assume that you'll advertise the jersey design there when it's ready.
Yes,
jersey designs.
We will. We will be showcasing it. I will have to say that I think it's really important if somebody signs up for the Kentucky Cycling Challenge that they do follow us on Facebook, because that is a place where we will be regularly communicating with everybody about upcoming rides, about sponsors, about the jersey, about summaries after each ride, how to get your jersey, when you will sign up for the jerseys and if you qualify. So it is really important to follow us on Facebook.
All right, very good. It's a page, so you don't necessarily have to have a Facebook account to even visit
Correct.
the page. So important to know. So if you don't have a Facebook account, you're not left out. You can still go out and go to this page and follow that information.
If I can also add, if the person is not on Facebook and they have registered, we do send out an email prior to every ride. So there will be some communication in terms of organization of what they need to do for each ride. So it's not that we won't email them, we will communicate through email. It's just we will have lots of regular communication on Facebook.
Right. And the cutting edge, the latest, greatest. Yeah.
The energy. We had so much energy, so much response and attention to our announcement about registration. They were pretty fired up. There's a lot of enthusiasm for the Kentucky Cycling Challenge.
Good deal. And for good reason. And I know you guys are still working through some of the details, but I know sponsorship's a big part of this, and there might be sponsors out there who are still maybe considering becoming sponsors of the challenge. So, give us a little pitch about what sponsors might need to be aware of as they're thinking about being part of this.
If anybody is interested in being a sponsor, please contact us. We would love to talk with you and get you on board. We do have different levels of sponsorships available. And depending on what level of sponsorship an organization or a business is interested in donating, we have different benefits that go with it. But in general, that we will be sure that all the logos of any sponsors will be on our Facebook page. They'll pop up regularly. They will be on our website. And we also print, if you remember, Nathan, at the challenge, we always have these 2 really big banners at the sign-in table when people check in after a ride. So we also promote those sponsorships at all 5 rides. And those sponsorship banners are out for a good 10 hours at every ride. So we do really appreciate our sponsors. We are in conversation to get to always looking for new sponsors. So if you're interested, please contact us.
Will those logos also end up on the jerseys?
So presenting sponsors can be on the jersey. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Little extra incentive there. All right. And so if they want to reach out to you about sponsorship opportunity, or I guess generally just have questions about the challenge, what's the best way to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I think the best way would be definitely to reach us through Facebook. That's something, as I mentioned, we're in regular conversation with Facebook.
Okay, great. So send you a message via the Facebook page. Awesome. All right. So last but certainly not least, maybe you all can take turns and walk us through the calendar, because I know lots of people, man, it's early in the year. I'm planning out the rides I want to do. And Kentucky Cycling Challenge is a big part of this. So, drum roll, tell me about these rides.
Yeah, so the first one that kicks off the event is the Redbud Ride. It is located in London, Kentucky, and it's been around for a while. So it was established in 2006. In April, it's like the perfect time to ride this ride, hence the name, the Redbud Ride, because of all of the redbud trees that surround the route during early spring. And so, again, it has those SAG stops that people are looking for. They are offering 4 different route options. So they have the 24-mile course that is relatively flat, so good for those beginners who are looking to earn that third option, 3 out of 5 to purchase that jersey. They also have a 34-mile, which is that casual pace, experienced riders, and then the 72-mile route, which is going to have some climbing, but intermediate route. And then the Century Ride is considered a more advanced route. That'll be a challenge like any good Century is. And again, it's our first one. And so we really want to encourage people to kick off the outdoor season of cycling with the Redbud Ride. And I think you also get like a goodie bag with a t-shirt as well and some fun vouchers that are offered as well. So that's a good one to check out. Again, London, Kentucky, Redbud Ride, and it is April 9th.
Awesome. So that's a great ride, a real favorite, one of the most popular rides in the state, and starts out right in downtown London. And it doesn't take long before you are out on some of the most beautiful and rural roads in the state. It's so beautiful to, especially just awesome memories of riding down along the Rockcastle River. And then I guess, at least historically, with both the Metric and the Century Ride, you get to ride their title hill, which is Tussey Hill, which is, quite a fun, epic, hill. It's got definite parts to it. And at the end, a nice wall, like a 22% grade, only about a 1/10 of a mile, but pretty steep, good challenge there. So definitely get signed up for that one. All right, ride number 2.
The second ride of the challenge is the Horsey 100. It's in Georgetown, Kentucky. And the big news about the Horsey this year is that they're going to actually be back at Georgetown College. So if any of you did the Horsey last year, it was moved to a park in Georgetown just because they wanted to make it, as they should, make it more COVID safe. So they made a change. And the good news is it's coming back to Georgetown College, based on a lot of feedback from the ride last year. So they're excited to be back at the college. As everyone knows, also the Horsey is really a weekend event. So there's also rides on Friday and extra rides that people can participate with. And then, of course, the scheduled rides for both Saturday and Sunday. So as Natalie mentioned, the Redwoods, lots of riding options. Absolutely gorgeous. This is in our backyard here in Lexington. So we hope that you will sign up. You can sign up right now. The registration was launched today on Tuesday, January 11th.
Awesome. And that is on Memorial Day weekend. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. May 27th through the 29th.
Great. And so with that particular ride, as far as counting a ride for the challenge, so if you go and participate in it multiple days, you need to choose one of your rides to be counted for the challenge. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. No double dipping.
Yeah, no double dipping. All right. So what about the third ride in the challenge?
Yeah, so the third ride is the Licking Valley Century in Alexandria, Kentucky, and it is on June 25th. So I'm excited about that one. That's my birthday weekend, so I will be there to celebrate. So I hope that everyone comes out to celebrate. It is presented actually by the Cincinnati Cycling Club. And it's really cool because you actually get to travel through Campbell County, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson County. And so you really get to enjoy all the different ridge tops and valleys of northern Kentucky. They do offer, again, multiple routes. So they have, it's actually a little bit over a century. They have a 103-mile route They have the metric century, and then they have a 41-mile route and a 29-mile as well. And again, they have those SAG stops to support you that are, great for rest areas, food, water, anything that you need as well. Some of the things that we are excited to announce about the Licking Valley Century is actually that they really want to emphasize camping will be on site this year. And so it'll be limited based on availability, but the site is the Knights of Columbus. And so if you are looking to go out in that area and to bring your tent or an RV, I'm not sure if it's RV friendly, but there will be camping. And then they also have 2 charity partners. So the proceeds from the race support 2 food banks, one in Northern Kentucky and one in Cincinnati.
All right. So we've gone from southeastern Kentucky, where we've gone and enjoyed the spring, those redbuds popping out. And then we've made our way to premier horse country for the Horsey 100. Now we've moved up to northern Kentucky, and we're going through those beautiful, beautiful. I love the contrast there of the down in the beautiful river valley, up along the ridge, back down the river valley, and now, where do we go?
Now we're going to Middlesboro, Kentucky, and that's on August 6th. And so we're going to the mountains, and we're going south and east. And this is a really fabulous ride. If you have not done this ride before, I did it last year. It is hilly and it's challenging. However, the ride director said he's actually looking to make it a little less hilly on August 6th, but it is stunning. It's a really beautiful ride, and I just really encourage everyone, if you haven't done the Middlesboro ride, please go down there, make a weekend out of it, because there's great hiking as well. It's also doing a charity ride, supports campus ministry, which is wonderful to hear. There's going to be some pre-rides the day before and also possibly the day after. So the goal is here for this weekend is that you will ride in all 3 states.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So very cool. They've got great ideas in Middlesboro.
Yeah. So Kentucky. So we're talking about the Cumberland Gap region for those who are not familiar. So we're talking about Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia.
Right. Cool. So you can ride in all 3 states in the weekend. Okay. Cool. And if you think that's cool, which it is, they have a other project ride in the works. It hasn't been finalized yet, but they're working with the national park, Cumberland Gap National Park, and they're going to they want to offer, and they plan to offer on a Friday, that would be August 5th, if you're ready for this, a climb up to the Tri-State Pinnacles.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
On your bike, yes.
On your bike. This is a 3-mile ride, and you're thinking, I got this. I've been riding centuries in the previous, I can do 3 miles. This is 3 miles. It's 3.61 miles, and you climb 1,300 feet.
Yeah, that's not messing around. That's a lot.
Okay. This is a serious climb, a serious challenge, and they're also talking about having like the fastest male and fastest female award to get up there. We had a great time at the ride directors meeting yesterday, talking about all the rides, and we enjoyed talking about this challenge because all of us were humbled at this task. Afterwards, the ride director, Emery Minton, actually sent me some photos of how absolutely gorgeous the view is from the top of the pinnacles. So I challenge all of you, sign up for the Rock the Crater in Middlesboro, and I challenge you to climb up to the pinnacles.
Wow, that's awesome. So Sharon, I'm going to say real quick that I won't be doing that challenge, but I'm confident. I'm confident that there will be multiple folks who will, and all I can say to those folks is respect. I am looking forward to getting down there and hopefully doing the metric century this year. And I want to give a shout out to Rock the Crater Ride for being an Illumina level sponsor of the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. So appreciate that. All right, and last but not least, I think we're going to go west of I-65.
That's right. We're going to Owensboro. So we are excited because the Bluegrass Century Ride, it's August 27th. It's the final leg of the 2022 Kentucky Cycling Challenge. And it really brings the event back to the beautiful hills of Western Kentucky. It's hosted by Bicycle Owensboro. And so we're super excited to have them on the challenge this year. It again offers different routes. So they have 3 routes that is really for everyone. They have the full 100-mile Century route that also spans 3 different counties. They have the 62-mile, the Metric Century, and then a 30-mile route as well. And one of the things that I think is really cool about this Century is that their SAG stops will offer a special photo opportunity for people. So they definitely have that Instagram social media moment. They're prepared for it. I'm just going to leave that out there. So it's a little teaser. People can figure out what that is. Yeah, can figure out what that includes when they participate. But we're also really excited about it because their race is also fundraising for Young Life of Owensboro. And so that helps middle school and high school students. And as we know, COVID has done a lot for our students and for our educators. And so we're really excited to support that. And then one of the things that is really fun about Owensboro, if people haven't been there, they have the River Walk. And so we're really excited to have that registration and packet pickup for the Bluegrass Century will be on Friday, and it's the last night of the Friday After 5 festival that they do in Owensboro at the river. And so it's free to the public. There will be bluegrass music, bands, of course, barbecue, and again, just a lot of fun and food and family night kind of right before the ride. So really cool to check that out. And then again, they are just that river town. And so it's probably one of the least amount of elevation that you're going to have to go through on the challenge. So it's a great way to end it.
Yeah. So Natalie, thank you for doing such a beautiful job of describing that. In the very beginning, you said something about the hills of Western Kentucky. And I'm like, Natalie, have you done this ride? This has got to be the flattest century in Kentucky. So, yeah. And actually, I had that question going into this. Is it the flattest century in Kentucky? It's either got to be this or possibly the Misaligned Minds tour, which I've never ridden out in Paducah. So if you know the answer, go ahead and put it in the comments below and let us know which is flatter. The Bluegrass, they call it the Bluegrass Century.
Right.
But they have the other routes. Yep.
Okay. Or the Misaligned Minds, tour in Paducah. If somebody knows the answer, go ahead and include that. Go ahead.
I will say to redeem myself, I will say that when we had our meeting with the directors, they are planning to change up the route a little bit to include some more elevation. So you will have some of the hills. There's potential for a little bit more climbing.
And please don't misunderstand me. I think I was in the most efficient, fastest double pace line of my life on this particular ride. I mean, so it's fun. I mean, please don't misunderstand. And also know that the name has changed. So this used to be billed as the Bourbon and Bluegrass ride. Those of us in Central Kentucky who live in what we typically think of as the Bluegrass region may be thinking to themselves, why is a ride in Owensboro called the Bluegrass ride? And do you all know the answer? So Owensboro is the home of the Bluegrass Hall of Fame.
Oh yes, I did know that.
So it's right in downtown Owensboro, routing that down that next to that that beautiful waterfront. If you haven't, I'd love to hear about that music venue going down there. Definitely get down there and enjoy that. They have to have probably the most beautiful waterfront in the state. So
it is amazing. And there's, for people who are traveling with families, there's 2 hotels right there. And there's also like a great playground as well, right on the Riverwalk. And then the start of the race is just like 10 minutes down the road from there. So it's all kind of centralized in that area.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm excited. This is a cool year with some geographic diversity. Great to see a ride out in Western Kentucky again as part of the challenge. So that's I think there's going to be anybody coming in from out of state or Kentucky riders alike are going to get a treat to really nice geographic diversity and experiencing a lot of the beauty the state has to offer. So in closing, is there anything that I haven't asked you all about that you'd like to share with the Kentucky cycling audience?
Yeah, so the main thing is we just really, again, want to make sure that everyone knows that the safety of the riders is our number one importance. And this goes from Sharon and I as the co-directors of the Kentucky Cycling Challenge, as well as all of the ride directors are in agreement with this as well, is that we will continue to operate in a manner that is consistent with the sound public health guidelines. And so we are adamant on following all CDC recommendations, as well as if anything changes, as we know, I feel like in the past couple of years, flexibility is key. So if there's anything that we've learned to be flexible and adapt to new regulations. And so we will be following any Kentucky guidelines as well as any local community recommendations as well. So again, keeping COVID-19 at the front and making sure that we're keeping everyone safe, as well as riders, volunteers, but then making sure that we're still having a fun, energetic environment as we tour Kentucky.
Awesome. All right, Sharon and Natalie, I want to thank you all again for being returning guests on the Kentucky Cycling Connection series and telling us about the details of this year's Kentucky Cycling Challenge. Thanks.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks so much.
As always, we hope you found this content useful. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.